Hi students, this is your instructor Ashish. I am recording this video for our C++ class to give you some help on the current week, which is week 5's assignment. I am on the Canvas homepage and I have changed my interface to look like a test student. So what you see on my monitor should resemble what you see on your monitor. We are going to write a code which is here, tiny little code using Visual Studio interface or Visual Studio software for the week 5 assignment. If you are using Eclipse, you will write the same code. That is what I'm going to do in this video. If you are using CodeLite, you may do the same thing. We may use different software, but we are writing the C++ code. We may use the different software because we are using different computers, but the C++ code should be same because the C++ syntax or the rules of the programming language C++ is same and it is standard. Before I start the video, I want to mention that my cell phone number is right on the home page of our Canvas. Whenever you have a question or any emergency happens and you need to reach me, please call me on this number. This is my physical iPhone that I have. It's not a Google phone number or anything like that. When you call me or text me, I tend to reply promptly unless I'm in a meeting or teaching a class. Before any further delay, let us go to the modules page and we will see the sections for different modules. Starting with week 1, you can click on the name to collapse the content from display. As we are in week 5, you may just collapse them, and once you do this on your computer, they will remain collapsed unless you open them explicitly. So here we have week 5, and you have a week 5 snapshot as a page, chapter 2 study as a cloud symbol. This is for PowerPoint, to download the PowerPoint, and we have an assignment with the A symbol. It states chapter 2 assignment. I will right click on it and choose open link in new tab to pull up this web page for the assignments in a new page, so that we can see the main courses module page as well as the assignment side by side. For this assignment, you need to complete exercise number 1, 2, and 6 from page 115 and 117. As I mentioned, if you come across any questions while completing, you may post a question in the announcement post. You can contact me in any way possible, any manner that works for you works for me. You may compress the solution if you're using Visual Studio, or at the very least, you just upload your C++ file using the submit assignment link on the right hand side. I have the ebook for the textbook we are using, and here is the page number 115, and we are looking at the question number 1. Let me make it bigger so you all can read it from my video here. I apologize, it just went a little bit forward. And here is the exercise, which is to say write a program that produces the following output with a bunch of star symbols. Programming assignment 1, computer programming 1, author should be your name rather than three question marks, and due date, you all can follow this same due date. It says in your program, substitute question with your own name. If necessary, adjust the positions and the number of stars to produce a rectangle looking structure. So this is the program 1 we need to do. The second is write a program that produces the following output. The letter C using C, plus symbol with the plus symbol, and another plus, just to mimic C++. These two are the first two assignments you have to do for this particular week's assignment. The third one is the exercise number 6, which is down below on the subsequent page. When we scroll down, we see the exercise number 6 appear, and consider the following program statement. Include statements, using statements. These are comments. As you know, in C++, anything that begins with 2 forward slashes are comments, and we are supposed to answer a couple of questions or perhaps 5 of these questions and also make sure our application runs. I would probably postpone it for now, but let us focus on the number 1 assignment, which is write a program that produces the following output. We will focus on this highlighted section that I have done for you, just so you can see what I'm talking about. And to begin the work, we shall open the Visual Studio software. If you are using Eclipse or if you are using CodeLite, which is other software, hey, you will do the same thing or pretty much the same thing as you are seeing me perform here. I'll click on my Start button. I will go to All Programs, and I have Microsoft Visual Studio 2012. I'm going to open I have the Express version, which I will open. You may also see one folder with the initial letter words Microsoft Visual Studio 2012. Please click on the infinity symbol, which is the horizontal 8. This is for Visual Studio. Let it come, and it might take a little longer than usual, but don't worry, have patience, and it should appear. When it comes, and for every assignment, my humble request is to please start with a new project. So we shall go to File, and we'll choose the option New Project. Down below, we'll click on it, and we will get a dialog box, a box with this kind of interface enabling us to choose something. We are always going to use Visual C++, and we'll always use Win32 console application. Keep a note of where your project is being created, folks, and give it a nice little English name. You may say Week 5 Exercise 1. How about that? You can use the uppercase for the first letter of every word, or you can use underscore, or you can use both, as I'm doing. The name of the project could be anything you want. As long as it makes sense to you, that's all we care about. So let me name it just like that. We'll press the OK button, leaving everything else aside. One more time, Visual C++ and Windows 32 console application. I have pressed the OK button, and it says welcome to the Win32 application wizard. These are the current project setting console. Very good. We must go to next. We should not press finish. We go next, and my request, please do not keep those two checked and have the empty project checked. This is the most important thing, folks, for creating a new project using C++ programming language and using the type Windows 32 console application. Console should be checked. In the bottom, only empty project should be checked to say, hey, I would like to begin a new project, but create an empty project. I don't want any help, anything extra. I will do everything on my own. The name of my project is going to be week_5_exercise_1. Just an English name that helps me understand I'm on week 5 and this is for exercise 1. Press the finish button, and you shall wait until you see the initial screen appear. It shouldn't take too long, and we will see our project setup, which will enable us to create our file for the exercise 1. Once again, depending on your computer, it may be super duper fast or it might take a little longer, but have patience until you see your project appear. Here is my project, guys. Over on the top right hand side, it says this is the project you have. It automatically is part of a solution. We didn't ask for it, but this is how Visual Studio operates. Are there any source file? These are folders, and there is nothing. We have empty. That's what we wanted, an empty project. How should we begin? We need to create a new file. How can we do that? Simplest way is over in this source file, which is located in Solution Explorer box, and here are the outline. It starts here, goes here, then it wraps around, and this is the small area that's called Solution Explorer. We will right click, mind you, right click, and we will choose the option add sub option new item. We are trying to add a new item to our project. Our project is entirely empty, which is what we originally asked for, and we are adding a new item. Given the type of the project, we have two choices to choose from, either a CPP file or a header file. Let me state it once again: C++ file with a .cpp extension and header file with a .h extension. We will always choose the C++ file. And what is the name we would like? Hey, I would like it to be the same name as my project, week 5 exercise _1. Why? Because that's the exercise I'm showing you guys. It's going to be saved here, and once again, please keep a note of the location, because that's where our code is being saved, and that's where we need to find it in order to submit for Canvas. We'll press the add button, and we should see a small change in the Solution Explorer. Here we go. We have our C++ file. It's currently open. This is the symbol X to close it. We may close it. There's nothing open. We can double click on it and reopen it. There are no codes. We are on line 1, and we can start to make our code changes happen. I'm going to make my interface 150%, so every line I type should be clearly visible to you guys. When we need to write something, or if we need to read something from the customer, we have to include a file provided by C++. The original C++, it comes with a bunch of header files. Header, we need to include them as and when we need. We have a header file called string. We have a header file called for math. We have a header file to display something to the customer. To include these files, we start with hashtag. We put the include word, and in angle brackets, we will type, in this case, IOStream. IOStream exists for input output stream. As you type, you may see some squiggly lines show up, but don't worry. You shall always click on this 2 floppy disk symbol, which is called Save All. As you make changes, once you complete your work, those squiggly lines should disappear. Having a squiggly line means there is something wrong with our code and we need to fix it. A small mistake can cause our application to malfunction, so there should not be any squiggly lines. First line is done. We included the IO stream. I stands for input, O stands for output. Input, output stream. Let my application have the ability to input something to the customer, or input something from the customer and output something to the customer. In order to use the information that is underneath this IO stream header file, we'll be using the keyword using, namespace, std, and a semicolon. Every line that is executed in C++ must terminate with a semicolon. Why are we using this namespace? What is the meaning of it? IOStream is a header file. Imagine it like a library building. There are multiple sections in this library. Similarly, IOStream has multiple sections. And by using the line number 3 here, using namespace std, we are telling the software that, hey, I only want to look in the standard section of this library. I don't need to know about the extended and other sections, because my job is to do very simple work, and therefore I'm only after the standard section. This is why we are typing this line. In almost all the programs that you'll be writing throughout the semester, what we are doing so far will be exactly same in every application. The next line will be int space main, open close parenthesis, a curly brace opening, and a curly brace close. This is to say my C++ file, which is given the name exercise_5_exercise_week_5_exercise_1.cpp, will have a function by the name main. Why the main? Because this is the starting point when you run your application. The C++ compiler, the underlying nuts and bolts of C++, it's looking for a particular name, main, and whatever is there inside the curly open and curly close parenthesis will be executed automatically. That's it. These 4 lines that you see here, folks, the include, the using namespace, the int main start, and the end of it, these 4 lines will make the skeleton for every single application or every single assignment you will do for C++1 class that we are going through. So without any delay, our objective now, and this is where we are getting into doing something for this particular project, which requires us displaying this kind of information. To display something, we need to use the keyword COUT, which is called cout or console. Console could be a monitor, console could be a printer, console could be a text file. We are writing to a text file, we are writing to a monitor, we are displaying to the console, and we always use 2 less than symbols along with cout all the time. In order to display a string to the user, we need to enclose in quotation marks, or you may call it double quotes. We will have a star symbol and end quotation marks. Every running line in C++ ends in the semicolon, and I may put some more star symbols because my objective is to mimic the structure for this particular stuff that we have here. This will display 1 line to the customer. And if we need to have another line start, we must say cout less than, and we shall use end L as a special symbol. What is the end L for? The end L is to say, hey, after you see this word end L, move the mouse to the next line, so that anything I type after that should start to appear in the new line. And we are ending this line with a semicolon. And what do we want in the next line? We would like cout. I apologize, I keep typing it incorrect. We would like to have a star in the beginning and a bunch of spaces that I'm using with putting with my keyboard, and a star in the end. And I'm just kind of looking that, it kind of aligns with the lines above. And we need to put programming assignment 1 in the middle. So let's try to type programming assignment 1, and using the delete key, we are kind of moving this thing back in place. And this is number 1. We'll erase some spaces from the front, and we have 1, 2, 3. Let's see how many we got. 1, 2, 3. And probably we need to put 1 space, 1 more star here, and 1 space here. So how many spaces? 1, 2, 3, and 4. We got 1, 2, 3, and 4. Basically, we don't have to be extremely careful, guys. As long as it mimics a rectangle, we are happy. So please don't be worried that, oh, Ashish is counting spaces in the front and beginning. No. We are just trying to give it a good structure. That's why as an instruction, I'm being a little more careful. But this will show up in line 2, and we need to move the cursor to the next line, and therefore we will repeat ourselves by using cout. And once again, I misspell cout, so the squiggly lines, they shall disappear as I correct my mistake. What should happen in the line 3? We would like a word computer programming 1. So we will say cout less than symbol, and quotation mark, a star symbol, couple of spaces, and computer programming 1, and a star symbol, a quotation mark close, and a semicolon. We need to make it in the middle, so we are just putting some spaces in the front and spaces in the end, so that it looks kind of nice and clean. We'll have another cout We will have NL and a semicolon to say, hey, please move the mouse in the next line. And we would like to display author. So again, quotation marks, star symbol, and we would like to type author, colon symbol, and we would like Ashish because that's my name, Ashish. You may please put your name, do not put my name, and here we have third line is done. We would like the mouse to move in the next line as this information is displayed to the customer. So we are using the another instance of cout end line. What should come in the next line? We need to see our example and code accordingly. We would like the due date. So we shall say cout NL, quotation mark, a star symbol, and the word due date with a colon symbol, Thursday, Jan.2014 or 24. There is a bunch of space in the beginning, so let's erase some space and have our star symbol, a quotation mark, and a semicolon to terminate this line. In order to move the mouse in the next line, we will have another NL, and we will have finally a quotation mark built up of star symbols, an end quotation mark, and a semicolon. This is going to print one line on this number 7 of my code with bunch of stars from the beginning to the end. Everything that is enclosed within the quotation mark, or you may refer to it as double quotes, will show up to the customer. Then we are moving we are telling the program to move the mouse in the next line before displaying another symbol, a string programming assignment 1, and another asterisk that comes up. Then we move the mouse to the next line. So we will probably have a structure which will be very similar. Let's make sure we save it. There are no squiggly lines. We are done with our code. We have, if I were to just zoom out a little, this is the code you will be writing for the exercise 1 from the back to the back, from end to end. This is it. If you submit something like this, we will be perfectly done. That's it. You'll get full points. How do I run it? We'll go to the build option. We'll go to the debug option and we'll choose start without debugging. When I choose it, I'm expecting something in this white area over in the bottom which says the word output. Let's click on it, and when we get a small box, we may make some information to show up there. Wait for some minutes or a few seconds and you will see the output show up. And there we go. We have an output appear in a black and white window. This is the console window. It's putting those star symbols. Let's keep them side by side. It's putting the star symbols. And then how come this is starting in the next line? Because we use this end line. End line is part of IOStream. Where is the cout coming from? The cout is the part of IOStream header within the standard namespace, and therefore we could use the console output. I would like to output a end line, and therefore this star symbol starts in the next line. We have this and this and this and this, and it says press any key to continue. When we press any key on the keyboard, A, B, C, D or anything, the application will terminate and we are done. All you would like to submit when you are done is this one file which is located on your computer. You do not have to submit the whole project. Once again, folks, just submit this one file which is week 5 exercise1.cpp on our Canvas website using the submit assignment button to choose for the file and submit that file. That's all you need to do for this particular one of the 3 exercises that we did. Here I'm showing you that where is my C++ file is present. You can open it and you may choose another file before you click the submit assignment button. The other exercise we need to do is number 2, which is rather than displaying the stars and some text, you need to make a program which will output a structure like this. Using the letter C, we'll make a big giant C. Using the plus symbol, we'll make 2 plus symbols. And you may expect that, you are going to enclose this in the quotation marks. You may leave some white space in the middle, and you may use Cout to display. To move the mouse or display this information in the line below, you will use the end L, which is right here, before you may do that. Eventually, your application should display something like this to the customer in a black window, which is called the console window. I'm really hoping that with the exercise we did for the exercise 1, I hope that you can do the exercise 2 by yourself. Regarding the exercise number 6, which is the third part of the final of this particular week's assignment, in the final part of this assignment we have consider the following program statement. We have int main, open curly brace, and the closing curly brace. We have write C++ statement that include the header file, IOStream, and string. How should we do that? Hey, you know what? I have to create a new project. So let's go and say I would like a new project. We are done with the first. We'll say I want to create a project, and the name for this should be week_5 exercise_6, right? Because the 6th one. Let's create, and we are asked to specify some detail. We'll press next and say, hey, don't give me anything. I just literally need an empty project, and the console application is what I'm after. Press the finish button. Here we have an empty project with no source file. So let's add a new item of the type C++ file, and we will say the name of this file is week_5 exercise_6. How about that? .cpp. We'll add the file, and the file is open. It has no content. But as we are answering the assignment 5, exercise 3, we will try to write the code for it. How about that? Okay. Write C++ code that include the header file, IOStream, and string. Every header file must have hashtag include IOString, hashtag include string. Hey, we are done. This is what we were asked to do for this point number A. Write 2 statements that include the header file, IOStream, and string. Write a C++ statement that allows you to use cin, cout, endl without using this std ... suffix. We will use using namespace, std, and a semicolon to say, hey, out of these IOStream and string header files, I am only after the standard section. Therefore, I am giving you a clue up front using this line number 4 to say only interested in standard section, sir. So therefore, don't ask me to put standard in the code down below. Every C++ code should have main, open close with a curly brace open and a curly brace close. This was given to us. In fact, if you see this picture above, the C saying write the C++ statement that declare the following variables. Name of type string. Name is of type string, so we will say string, NAME, and a semicolon. To say I would like to declare a variable of the type string, which is the first portion, and the name is the name of the variable, semicolon, to terminate. Second variable is study hours of type double, so we will use double and study hours. How come double is coming in blue color and string in this light color? Because double is a data type provided by C++, but string is a data type created in the header file string. So it's not a original data type. On the C++ only has simple data types: integer, double, float, character, boolean. String was not part of original C++ programming. Therefore, it looks kind of different than double. We are done with point number B. Let's look at point number C. Write a C++ statement. I'm sorry, we are done with C. We shall do the D. Write a C++ statement or statements that prompt and input a string into name and a double into study hours. So we will use C++ code to prompt the customer to tell what we would like and accept the input from him or her. To display something, we use cout along with two less than symbols to say enter name please. We will have enter name so that the user is prompted with this small text to get the information from the customer. We use C in symbol with two greater than symbol, C in text with two greater than symbol to say please give me the name. When you are gonna type, I will put that into this variable name I have declared above. This will enable the customer to fill in the name and be stored in the variable. We will use cout one more time, and this time we would like the user to enter the study hours. So we shall say enter study hours with a colon symbol to give some meaning and some structure to our code. When the user enters something, we would like that information to be deposited in this variable study hours. So we got two variables with two prompts as part of our application so far. Let's read the last point. Write a C++ statement that outputs the value of name and study hours with the appropriate text. For example, if the value of the name is Donald and the value of the study hour is 4.5, the output is hello, comma, Donald, exclamation mark, on Saturday, comma, you need to study 4.5, which is study hours value, hours for the exam. So two portions here. The Donald is the value from the name variable and the 4.5 is the number entered by the customer. We are kind of displaying the information back to the customer in a more friendlier manner in this sentence, as you see here. To display something to the customer, we always use cout along with two less than symbol, and within the quotation marks we will say hello, comma, and a space. We'll end the quotation mark. We'll put a semicolon. This is part number 1. We would like to use another cout, and after this comma and a space, we would like the name or the content of the variable name, whether it is Donald or Ashish or James or Melissa or anything, we would like that name variable to show up. Mind you, we are not using the NL, so therefore, although we are writing this in individual line, everything will show up one after another. We'll put a double quotes and a space so that we will have a, we need to put a exclamation symbol right after the name. So we will not put a space but put an exclamation mark so that it will have an exclamation. And now we will put a space to say on Saturday, comma, you need to study and a space. After that we'll end the quotation mark and put a semicolon. We are building the whole content every little bit space at a time, taking baby steps to build the whole sentence. After the study and a space, our example says you need to display the value. which is stored in study hours. So we will display that, and we will have another C out. I'm sorry, I keep making C out mistake by typing it incorrectly. C out, and then we will have a space followed by hours for the exam, and that's what we need to do. So we'll have a quotation mark, space, hours for the exam, full stop, a quotation mark closed, and a semicolon. This is the application we have written. We don't have any other thing to write. Let's look at it from back to back. We just zoom out a little, and here is what we will be running to generate our output. This is what we have been asked to do. Everything is written between the body of the main function. Please always press the save button to save your work. If there is anything problem, you will have squiggly lines underneath the word or some other word, which means there is something wrong. But if you have typed properly, your code should look like this. We would like to compile and run our application. So we will go to the debug, start without debugging. When we run, the application displays enter name, and it has the cursor blinking. If I say Ashish and enter, it says enter the study hours, and if I say 2 is more than sufficient, when I press enter, it says hello Ashish, exclamation, on Saturday you need to study 2 hours for the exam. The text press any key to continue is a standard part of C++. You may completely ignore it. When you press enter, it'll just go away, and here is the code. This is the file. It's located right here in this folder structure. This is the file you need to submit as part of this assignment. And folks, I hope I have demonstrated number 1 and number 6, and expect that you can do number 2. You don't have to compress anything, just simply attach the code for your different files that you have created for different projects, and eventually there should be 3 files. But if I were to say right now I just have 2, and if I just demonstrate that to you guys, it shall probably look somewhat like this. Exercise 1 file is right here, and exercise 6 file is right there. Say here is my code, Ashish, and just as a dummy student, a test student, I clicked on the button. It is submitting, and it says you have submitted. The comment is right here. There should be 3 files. I will look at your code and grade it. I really hope that you will find this video useful for what we have done. If there are any questions you may have, please do not hesitate to contact me. My cell phone number is right here. This is all that you have to do for week 5 assignment. There is no other assignment for this week. If I can do anything else, please do not hesitate to contact me.